Okay, let's talk a little bit about jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is who has the ability to hear a case. Like, who does it belong to? That's what jurisdiction really means. And there's a couple different kinds of jurisdiction. The first kind we're going to talk about is original jurisdiction. Very simply, original. The word original means, like, it's the first one. So that's exactly what original jurisdiction is. It's the first place that your case has to start. Where does it have to originate? In the federal system, most likely that is district court. You are going to start your process in district court. In the state system, again, you're probably going to start at district court. Like we go to Monroe, and that would be where you kind of go to court, the beginning version. That's who's going to hear your case first. Now, the other courts that have original jurisdiction is the Supreme Court. Theoretically, the Supreme Court could swoop in and say, we don't need everybody else wasting their time on this. We're eventually going to hear it anyways. Send it right here. Most of the time, that does not happen. The Supreme Court hears approximately 100 cases every year, give or take. About 4 or 5 of them start in the Supreme Court that come there on original jurisdiction. Usually it's like when states have a dispute with one another. If Michigan and Ohio have a dispute over a waterway or something, that might go right to the Supreme Court. They might say, like, we're just going to hear it and we're going to be done with it. So that would be original jurisdiction. The other kind of jurisdiction is what's called appellate jurisdiction. So if you do not like the outcome in the district court and you want to appeal, that is called appellate jurisdiction. They're going to hear cases that have already been heard. Now, to appeal, there has to be a legal reason why you are appealing. A lot of times they'll say they had bad legal representation, like their lawyer did a bad job, or the judge didn't admit some evidence it should have, or there's new information that have come to light. Again, there's got to be a legal reason. You can't just say, like, well, I wanted to win and I didn't win, like, so I want to try it again. Like, there's got to be a legal reason you say, like, this, I got a bad shake. There is an ever increasing amount of appeals cases every single year. Like we mentioned, there's like 12 different circuits that handle the standard appeals cases. And then there's a 13th special appeals court that handles some specialty cases in Washington, D.C. All of those cases have what's called appellate jurisdiction. So think appeal, appellate jurisdiction. So now there's two courts that have appellate jurisdiction. Appeals courts, they have appellate jurisdiction, and the Supreme Court has appellate jurisdiction as well. Most of the cases the Supreme Court is going to hear is going to come to them on appellate jurisdiction. So they are going to, like I said, about 100 cases every year. Probably about 95, 96 of those are going to come on appellate jurisdiction. Like I mentioned before, it is really difficult to get a case to the Supreme Court. There's got to be some really compelling factor that they want to hear that's going to affect a lot of people, that's going to have this broad kind of effect or answer this really big question and clarify like something that affects everybody, like freedom of speech or freedom of religion. So most of the Supreme Court cases are going to be on appeal. They want to see how things play out before they get involved. Okay, so those are the different kinds of jurisdiction. So if somebody says original jurisdiction where you start, appeals is if you don't like the outcome and you have a legal reason to want to have the courts hear the case again, you can use your appellate jurisdiction. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. See ya.